Soft Serve Gentleman, Dean Alejandro here, and today I want to talk about my unhealthy attachment to hair and to my hair. This is something that I realized kind of when I first came out as trans, and I've also realized kind of throughout the past months as I started losing my hair. So I wanted to go ahead and put the spotlight on me and talk about my experience and how I've been feeling with this. This is an open conversation. I have never talked about this. My best friend and I, Cade, we were going to be doing a video together about this, but whenever we hang out, we always just hang out together, and it's nice to not do content and be like normal people. So I want to talk about first, I'm actually going to make this into two parts because now that I'm thinking about it, it might be a little redundant and I don't want to completely bore you. Plus, this might be more applicable to people that are, not on hormones and also transitioning, and of course, all types of people in general. So let's start this off with talking about when I first came out as trans. And I laugh because thinking back about it, it was so obvious growing up. So I had always had long hair. If you know my wife, my hair was a little bit shorter than hers, so it was pretty long. And I had always grown my hair out. I had always had long hair after I turned probably 7 or 8 years old. And I had unintentionally, and this is me reflecting on it after I cut my hair, and up until that point, I had developed this really unhealthy attachment to my hair because I thought people liked me better. I was more attractive. And I obviously, now I realize I was overcompensating for a lot of other things. So I basically had always told myself that basically I would, without getting too far into it in details, I could another time, that if I cut my hair short, no one would like me, and what's the point? I may as well be a guy, right? Which is funny now. That's so funny. So I kept my hair really, really long, and as my grandparents got older, because my grandparents raised me, I didn't want to cut my hair because I still wanted to not disappoint them, which is kind of crazy because I don't think I would now thinking about it. But I was lesbian at that time of my life. So I think it was also overcompensating for that and the type of girls that I was into and stuff like that. Or I guess are into, but not currently into because I'm married. And so I started thinking about all of this because when I came out as trans and I wanted to cut my hair, obviously, I was so scared to do it. And I remember having this really bad physical reaction to it. And I was devastated. I was completely devastated, but I could not understand why. So Alexa made the appointment for me to cut my hair. And I didn't go. I didn't even call them to cancel. I made her to call them. I want to say also that I'm thankful for my partner throughout this whole transition and just pulling me out of the closet when I was comfortable to do so. Thank you. So she canceled the appointment for me, but I still knew that I had to get this done. And when I was having that physical breakdown, that's when I realized the unhealthy attachment that I had to it and that I thought people wouldn't like me if I cut my hair short. And I think overall it was just having this persona and this identity that I have had for so long, and it kind of took over me, I guess. And I never looked in the mirror, and I was always dysphoric. I just never had the language to really describe it, even though whenever I looked in the mirror I saw a dude. I basically saw me now, which is kind of crazy. But so reflecting on all of this, I realized that I had an unhealthy relationship with my hair, and I kind of knew this and kind of knew that actually, you know what, I'm not even gonna lie, I didn't know 100% of the risks with starting T, and my first doctor didn't really describe and explain too much as to what would happen, and they really didn't know much about hormones in general. So that's what I'm going to talk about in the part 2 video, and how that basically led me to shaving my head a couple of days ago. So I just want to go ahead and say that if you are thinking about cutting your hair and you're nervous, or you're overwhelmed with emotion, you're definitely not alone. Don't cut your hair if you don't feel comfortable to do so. If you think it's ready, if you're ready to do so, then obviously go ahead and do that. Go with what your spidey sense says. That's what I like to tell people. Go with what your gut and your intuition says. That's what I try to do. And it's hard. It's hard to break that habit. We are changing our physical appearance, or it is changing. And this is applicable to those people that aren't on hormones, obviously. Anytime you cut your hair, people say, oh, well, it'll grow back. It'll grow back. But it changes you, and it's crazy. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up or subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can see more content. Check out my Facebook page or my Instagram, same handle everywhere. I appreciate you. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and you are not alone.